Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're in my finished artwork sketchbook to finish a sketch, or just to do a sketch, I guess, in general. This is a sketch of a drawing that is a redraw, and I think this is actually one of the first videos I did was sketching out the redraw for this particular piece. I'll go ahead and put it up for you guys so you can see what it looked like. But I really did not like the way that the new sketch was turning out, so I decided to erase the whole thing and try again, and this is the result of that. I like this one a lot better than that first one. If I can find a picture of what that first one looked like, I'll put it up for you guys. But yeah, I really didn't like the first one. I feel like the head was too big and the eyes were weird and it was just not working for me. So I tried it again with this one. I didn't initially like the way this one came out a lot better, but since I was sketching on my table and it was flat on my desk, the head is sort of kind of skewed. It's much too wide at the top and too narrow at the bottom. It's like not symmetrical at all, and I only noticed after I started coloring it, and I was like, holy fuck. The head is so weird looking. So yeah, and then when I got to the coloring for it, I'll talk about it more when I talk about the coloring. But I not my favorite, but we'll just keep it with the sketch this time. So when I was sketching this, I did have the original drawing next to me, but not looking at it too much. Like, I took a look at it and then I put it away until I got to like adding the details, because this piece was actually a super detailed piece, because it had like a lot of piercings and stuff. This is in the phase of my art where I was actually trying to do a lot more detailed stuff. I'm just like not a very detail-minded person. I'm not super into like maximalism, little trinkets, things being like very clustered or together or cluttered or whatever. I have a really hard time thinking of minute details, just because I feel like I'm a very basic person. So I really don't think of detailed stuff like that. So I was trying for a long time to make myself a more detail-oriented person, especially when it came to my art, and I don't think I ever succeeded really at doing that. I really tried with pieces like this, with pieces like that was for decor key type pieces. I tried, because decor key is like very lots of accessories, lots of colors type thing, and I can never really think of that stuff on my own. I don't know, it's just a lot for me, I feel like, in my mind. And so I was really trying for a long time, and so I tried again to do that here, not because I feel like I want to get back to more detailed art. I really don't. I'm just like a simple artist. I think that's fine. Not everything needs to be super detailed. There's beauty and simplicity and stuff like that. So but I really wanted to still look a lot like it's like the same piece, just like a little bit updated with my style. And so I really tried to put all the details back in there. Like, she has a bunch of piercings on her horns, and she had piercings on her collar, and she had like piercings on her ears and stuff. I tried to make sure that I had, if I didn't do exactly the same piercings, I tried to like have it be the same amount of piercings, so that way it kind of hits the same vibe. The goal was really just to update the piece, not to like change it completely, not like to recreate it, not to like be like, oh, change this and change this. I guess I could have done like, how would I draw this now? But honestly, the way I draw it now would not have been like super different from the way I drew back then. I still do a lot of face forward portraits and stuff. That's just kind of what I'm more comfortable with. I really try to do more different poses and stuff nowadays, but sometimes it's nice to just sink back into your comfort zone. And I know last week I did a comfort zone piece, but I like to go to my comfort zone pretty often because it's nice and comfy there. So yeah, the only thing I really changed, I feel like, about this is her expression and the things that her hands are doing. So initially, when I first sketched this out, I tried to do this pose or this facial expression where her eyes kind of like crinkle a little bit and she's like sticking her tongue out. If you guys like ever stick out your tongue and like try to show off your teeth, it's like one of your eyes is going to crinkle, just because on that side of your face the muscles in your cheek are going up, and so they push up on your eye. I feel like I've gotten better at at facial expressions like that over the years. I feel like I've gotten a little bit better at facial expressions in general, to where they can be a little bit more expressive and a little less neutral, despite what is actually going on with the face. So I feel like the expression I like a little bit better. I feel like I kind of fucked up the placement of the nose. It's a little bit too far to the left. I feel like it's not truly in the center, and I think partially why I did that wrong is because I put the center line wrong when I was doing the sketch. So typically I draw a circle and then I divide the circle in half, and that's like the center line. I feel like I did not do that this time. I just drew the head without actually drawing the circle, and so that's probably why my center line was fucked up, and the nose is not in the center. But that's okay. We live and we learn. It's okay if sometimes the nose is not in the center. And honestly, I know people are not even going to notice it unless you point it out. So now you guys notice it, but you'll get over it by the next time you see that second half of the video, probably, honestly, truly. But honestly, I'm not even sure if you guys really watch the videos or if you just put them on when you're drawing and you like listen to me in the background. That's always been the goal for me, is to be your background buddy when you draw. But you can let me know if you actually watch the videos or if you just have me on as background noise. The other thing I changed about this drawing was the hands. Initially, when I did the hands for the very first piece, I put her hands up in these peace signs because I was too afraid to put up the middle finger, even though I was a full-grown ass adult. It was like 5 years ago. How old was I 5 years ago? I was 22. So I was still afraid of like doing like curse words and the middle finger and stuff. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just a wuss. I had strict parents and they're like, no cursing and stuff. Which I guess is like a strict parent thing. I don't know if that's a normal parent thing where your parents don't want you to curse, or if it's like a strict parent thing. Your strict parents are like, don't curse. I don't know. But so yeah, I was like, I don't want to put bad words. My mom is going to see this. And so I was afraid of that for a long time. But now I'm kind of like, I'm 27. I want to put some middle fingers or the curse words if I want. Like, it's not a big deal. Honestly. So now it's supposed to be the way it was always intended to be, where she has the middle fingers up. But as I was sketching the hands, I noticed that they were too big. And you know what? I was like, I could change these hands, but then I would have to draw the hands again. And so I left them the way they are. So they stay really big as hands. I actually had this as a really big problem for a long time in my art, where I would draw the hands too big, and I'm realizing now it's probably because I was always drawing at my desk, and the angle of looking at something straight flat is going to change the perception of it than if you're looking at it at an angle where you actually see the way it looks like when you're looking at it straight on. And so I feel like I'm not going to sketch at my desk anymore. No offense, you guys. I just don't want my drawings to come out skewed from doing it on the desk. So I'm just going to use it for coloring, I think, pretty much. Unless it's like some doodles that I don't really care about, that I don't mind sketching at my desk. Like my little one-off doodles and my studies. I don't really give a shit if they're a little bit skewed. It's fine. Before finished pieces, I would prefer to just sketch them in my bed. So that way I can actually see what it looks like and stand it up and stuff. You know what the funny thing is? This is actually a drafting table. My desk is actually a drafting table. It's not like a normal desk. And it does go up so I can look at it more at the angle that will help me like draw it, but I just don't use it because I'm like, how do you record and have it as a drafting table at the same time? I don't know. And also the drafting table has like this little thing at the bottom that like holds your paper so that way it doesn't slip off the table, but that thing digs into my little belly and it hurts me, and so I have trouble using it that way. So actually when you see me drawing on my drafting table, it's actually backwards, so that way that part when I'm drawing doesn't cut into my tummy. But yeah, I feel like I did use it wrong. I think I'm pushed up too close to it. I think you're supposed to like be a little bit further back and when you sketch, but I don't know. I never really used it as a drafting table too much. I just use it as a desk, which is like why I bother having it as a drafting table. And it's like, I don't know, guy. Okay, I thought it would be cool, and it's nice. I feel like it's really nice for sketching. I just don't use it right. I don't like it when it cuts into my tummy, that one little thingy. I think I could probably figure out a way to take that off, but then my paper would be slipping and sliding all over the place, and that kind of like defeats the purpose. I actually have to try again though, because I feel like it's been years since I ever tried to use it as a drafting table. And the thing is also, it's like I always put stuff in the side parts. Like it has like these things on the side that like hold pens and shit, and I always put way too much stuff in there. And so I feel like if I put the stuff in there and then I raise it as a drafting table, all my shit falls out because I put too much stuff in there. And it's like, that's not even going to hold my markers too much, because I use like 20 markers for an illustration, and the side parts are like so small they don't even hold on my markers. And then I have like this marker thing that's like, it like rotates to hold pens, and I have that sometimes on my desk, and then if I use it as a drafting table, that whole thing wants to slide off. So I don't know, I think about it some more. I mean, I liked it as a drafting desk, but also it's been a long time since I ever used it as a drafting desk, so maybe I'll try again. We'll see. And now you just see me going in a little bit with the earrings and stuff and the piercings. I didn't really have to put too much time and thought into the way I wanted to do the piercings too much, but I actually did have to put some time and effort into thought of how I wanted to do the ears. In the original, the ears are pointing downward, but for this one I had to have them pointing up, because since I drew the hands in a different way, instead of the peace signs going out to the side, the middle fingers go upwards, and so they cut off part of her ears. And so I was like, well, if I draw her ears down, it's going to cut off a lot of her earrings, and I don't want that. So I had to draw her ears going up, and I feel like it kind of sort of changes her expression and her vibe a little bit with having her ears going up. I feel like with the ears going down, it kind of gave it more like a laid back chill sort of vibe, and I feel like when the ears go up, it makes her seem a little bit more agitated. You guys can let me know if I'm just talking out of of my ass, or if you see it too. I don't know, something about her ears pointing up makes her seem a little bit more aggressive, like she's more alert, and something about the ears going down makes her feel like she was a little bit more chill. But also that might just be the way that I was drawing her expression in the old one. Her expression is a little bit more bored than it is now. I feel like with the way I angled her eyebrows and the way her facial expression is, it makes it seem a little bit less like she's like chill throwing out her tongue and her middle finger, and more like she's like aggressively being like, fuck you. But you can let me know. It's a little bit about my pencil that I used this time before the video ends. This is actually a Pilot color Eno in the color pink. It's a 0.7 pencil. Typically I like to use 0.5 when I sketch, but for this one I was going to do it the base sketch in the 0.7 and then switch over to the 0.5 when I was getting to the finer details, but I really never got around to switching to the 0.5, so I did the whole thing in 0.7, and honestly it didn't turn out bad or anything. I just feel like I typically like the 0.5 better just because it gives me a more precise line, I feel like. But this is okay too. Alrighty, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I will hope to see you in the next one. Bye.